I'm wondering if it's the California Dream Act or something else. We'll get clarification.
Yeah. And then there's federal money. So part of submitting your FAFSA, remember our FAFSA filers are eligible for federal money. Our California Dream Act filers are only eligible for state money. But for our FAFSA filers, we have multiple grants. Our biggest grant right now is called the Pell Grant. This increased $500 last year. So it's $7,395. So a student could get a Cal grant that pays for their tuition and then also get a Pell Grant that helps pay for living expenses. So the majority of our Pell Grant recipients are receiving this money to help offset living expenses. And what I love about the federal grants, you guys, is that you can get the entire pot. So I can get the entire $7,395 if I need it, or I can get a piece of it. I can get $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000, depending on my need. Remember, we are awarded financial aid based on our financial needs. So not everyone's going to be awarded the same amount, and not everybody is going to have financial need depending on your financial situation. So there's the Pell Grant, there's an FACOG grant that offers our lowest income students $4,000. There's also the Teach Grant. So if students share that they're interested in becoming teachers, there's an additional $4,000 that students could be eligible for. And then there's also the Iraq Afghanistan Service Grant that is offered to our students whose parents served in those countries and who lost their lives. So there's an opportunity to get some additional money that way. And then the second pot of money, so we have California money, federal grants, and then the work study pot of money is also a federal grant. It allows a student to work part-time on campus or some jobs off campus, tax-free. So students, if you are on here listening and you have a job, you work at In-N-Out, Starbucks, and at the mall, you know that when you get your paycheck, there's taxes that come out of your paycheck. So you may be thinking you're getting a paycheck for $300, but then you only get a paycheck for $215, okay? So work study allows you to work tax-free. They'll award you anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000. So I like to describe work study as kind of your pocket money, because you're gonna work, you're gonna go to work, you're gonna get a paycheck, and then you're gonna go to work, then you're gonna get a paycheck. So it's not a one chunk lump sum of money. Or like our Pell Grant, they give it to you in one lump sum, okay? And so this is, I like to say, is like for your Starbucks, go to Target, get some pizza, that kind of thing. Part of financial aid are student loans, you guys. It's not our favorite part of financial aid, but parents and students, it is part of it. One of the things I like to mention here is that one of the beauties of financial aid is that every single school that your student gets into is going to show you a financial aid offer. So if you do see a student loan, remember it's an offer. It's not something you have to take if it's not something you're interested in. But it is important to know that they will offer your students are going to offer you money just because you need it. There's no, like, do you have a job? Can you pay it back? They're going to offer it because you need it. And then parents, they could even offer us as parents an opportunity to borrow on our students' behalf, okay? It's important to know that every amount of loan that's offered is modifiable. So students, if they're offering you $5,500 in loans, but you don't need $5,500, you only need $1,000, only borrow $1,000. Parents, if they're offering you $30,000 in loans to help you support your student and you only need $10,000, only borrow $10,000. But I do want to let you guys know that it is part of financial aid, and that more than likely, if you are headed to a four-year university, you're going to see an offer. It doesn't mean you have to take it, okay? But I don't want you to be surprised. If you're nervous about taking student loans and you don't want to owe anyone, scholarships are the next best thing. Students, I know scholarships are kind of a pain to take care of just because it's a job. You got to find the scholarship, you got to see how to apply, you got to write a little essay, they're going to ask you some questions, and it takes some time to do that. But I do want you to know that scholarships are just not need-based, so they're just not for low-income students. They're also merit-based. Maybe you have a really strong GPA. Maybe you excel in a certain area. Maybe you're an engineering major and science and math is like your go-to and you're super awesome at it. Maybe you have a hobby that makes you stand out. Photography, dance, theater, ceramics. Maybe you play an instrument. There are scholarships for everything. So I don't want you guys to get discouraged. What I do encourage is, if you guys don't know where to start, scholarship search engines are definitely a place to start. So you can create a little profile, tell them who you are, your GPA, your majors, what you're thinking about, why you need the money, what you would spend the money on, and then they'll match you up with different scholarships. Today, at the end, I'm going to give you our social media. For our Instagram, we post a new scholarship every single Friday. So students, you're already on your social media. So if you follow us, you'll get to see a new scholarship come up. We post where to apply, how much it is, when it's due. So we're kind of doing the work for you and finding them. And then you're able to do those applications. We have a super cool Halloween one right now that you guys need to check out. And then once you're done, you submit your FAFSA, you submit your CADA, you're going to get a summary. So you're going to get a summary of everything that you put into your FAFSA. And it's going to be questions and answers. So it's a way for you to kind of look at it and make sure that there's no mistakes, that the information you put in there is correct. It also tells you that things have been processed. Okay, so you're going to get a FAFSA summary saying, yes, your FAFSA was submitted, it's processed, things are looking good. And then you're also going to get a California aid report. Remember, California has to tell you what Cal Grant or middle class scholarship opportunity you're eligible for or not eligible for, depending on your financial situation. So you're going to get two things. Both of these do come in an email. California does like to send you the hard copy too, so you could get a letter as well. Now, what I want you guys to understand is once we submit our FAFSAs and our CADAs and they go out into cyberspace, they're actually being sent to the colleges that you've listed on your application. So your colleges are the ones who determine your eligibility. Your colleges are the ones who package your money. Your colleges are the ones that are going to offer you the notice, okay? So I tell students, every single college you get into is going to show you the money. So if I apply to 10 schools and I get into 5, all of these 5 schools are going to send me a financial aid offer. So they're going to say, Layla, if you come to Fresno State, this is what we got for you. If you come to UC Davis, this is what we have for you. If you go to UC Santa Barbara, this is what we have for you. If you go to San Jose State, this is what we have for you. So they're going to show you an offer, and a lot of times our students and families will use these offers to determine where students are going to go based on how much money they're going to get. So this is a sample. This is what a sample award letter would look like for you guys. So you'll see cost of attendance at the top. This student was headed to Sonoma, $28,000. It was a girl. She did her FAFSA. Her student aid index came out to $3,000. She needed $25,000. So look, they went into all of their pots of money to meet her need. They offered her a Cal Grant 4, which pays for her tuition. They offered her a Pell Grant, but notice, look, she didn't get it all. She only got a piece. They offered her work study. They offered the student 2 types of loans, and then they offered the parent to borrow on her behalf as well to ensure that she had all the money she needed, okay? A subsidized and an unsubsidized loan is typically offered to our students. The difference is this. A subsidized loan, the government pays the interest on the loan while the students are in college. So if the student takes 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 years, this $3,500 is never going to increase because the government's paying the interest. An unsubsidized loan, we, the student, are responsible for that. So this $2,000 will grow each year a little bit. What is a benefit? What could be a benefit for students who are taking out loans is there is no requirement for repayment. Like, you don't have to pay back the loan while you're in college. Payment starts after you've finished college. However, if students wanted to make payments while they're in college, they are more than welcome to do so, but it's not an expectation. Once we get our award notices from all of our colleges and we decide, we compare and contrast, wow, Chico's really, generous and they're giving me this money. UC Merced, if you guys are thinking about UC Merced is very generous with financial aid. You're going to compare and contrast. So you say, you know what, I'm going to go to Sonoma. The next step is for you to accept or decline the awards. So you as students and parents get to go down the line and decide, yes, I want this money. No, I don't want this money. Yes, I want this money. No, I don't want this money. So you'll get to see before you make that big decision how much money you're going to get, which is very helpful. And then once you decide, you have the choice as to what money you take and what money you don't take.